Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, a member of the House Commerce and Foreign Affairs Committees. Congressman, great to see you today. Later on in this program, we're going to go live at one of the nation's largest airports because we may have reached a tipping point. All along, the TSA was critical. Now there are 10% workforce call-in sick situation as of yesterday. How close are we to actually getting a deal on the Hill?
Well, I hope it's soon. I think the president put forward a good, reasonable compromise, and if the Democrats don't like it, that's fine, that's their prerogative, but put forward something that's realistic, that doesn't start with no wall. I think there's going to have to be some middle ground here, but if you think about what the president put forward, he wants $25 billion for the wall. He's put forward $5 and breathing room for Congress to do its job on the bigger issue of immigration, which we have to do, and we can get to where 80% of the American people like what's going on. But you know, ultimately, it's going to be up to the Democrats if they do a counterproposal or just simply be the party of no.
Congressman, did we start to see a little bit of daylight last week when we had Steny Hoyer with Bret Baier and then Senator Ben Cardin with me, and we were both asking, look, you already have hundreds of miles of barrier wall, whatever you want to call it, strong line fence, whatever. You say you're not going to tear that down, so what difference would 200 more make in terms of the logic of being against it? We already know it works in some places. Steny Hoyer, House Majority Leader on the Democrat side of the House, now saying, yeah, actually it does.
Yeah, well, I hope it's some daylight. I hope it's a start. I mean, look, I've worked the border. I've seen it as a guard pilot. I can tell you it's wide open in certain areas. So what a wall does is reduce the amount of areas that all this other technology and people have to cover. So it, in essence, shrinks the border. And you're completely right. There are walls down there already. Putting some more on simply makes it more effective to be able to use other technology to protect the border. It's the right thing to do, and I think the Democrats back themselves in a corner because they're just opposing President Trump because he said wall in the campaign, and now their far left base has said you can never, quote-unquote, cave on anything related to the wall. And we're both in this position now where neither side wants to budge, and the president put forward, I think, a good faith effort to negotiate, and we're waiting for the Democrats to respond.
Okay, so I want to get into it. And by the way, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell on the Senate side is on the Senate floor right now. As that makes news, we'll bring it to you. Just want to let you know. Here's what he's pitching and what it would do. Trade temporary protections for young undocumented immigrants and others for $5.7 billion the president is seeking for that border barrier. The legislation would reopen the government through September 30th while funding a variety of other immigration security measures and spending $12.7 billion on hurricane and wildfire disaster relief. If this thing, and again, Senator McConnell on the Senate floor right now, if this thing were to pass, Congressman Kinzinger, this puts it back in the House. And the question is now, will Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, then push for her Democrats to not reopen the government if the Senate actually passes this bill per McConnell?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I've been in this position 100 times when we had the majority, where the Senate would send something over, and now the question is, are you going to put it on the floor and let some Republicans and some Democrats vote for it? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, with both sides coming together to say we may not love what's in this, but at least this is progressing forward. So she's going to have that decision to make. I hope the Senate can pass it. But even if they can't, again, the onus is now on them to say, okay, you don't like it. That's your right as a legislator.
And keep the government closed.
Keep the government closed in your case. What's the counter?
Does that then spread some of what the American people can only look at this now after 32 days is, y'all can't get along. It's blame, a pox on both your houses. Real quickly, because I've got a Democrat coming up, and I want to be able to answer this question with you first. When Democrats say that they're not really getting real DACA, they want more, what do you think they mean?
I think they mean they want something broader. That's fine. That's what we'll debate here in Congress. That's what the 3 years of the president's offer buys.
Is there enough good faith to do that if you open the government?
I don't know. I don't know. It's there's not a lot of good faith right now, and that's too bad.
Boy. Congressman, thank you from the great state of Illinois. Appreciate it.
You bet.